Hello, Women of the Channel Leadership Network. I'm Jackie Rives, and welcome to another Woman of the Week. Joining me today is Sara Dickinson, Senior Manager, Accreditations, Elite, and Special Programs for Lenovo. Hi, Sara. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, Jackie. Great to see you in real life and spend some time with you.
Well, we are so excited to have you. And for those community members that may not know, we do have a VIP book club in the community, and Sara is one of our facilitators. So thank you so much, Sara, for taking on that volunteer role and investing in the women in this community.
Oh, you're super welcome. It's been such an awesome growth opportunity for me as a person. So I feel like I'm getting just as much as I'm giving.
Oh, this is why I love you, Sara. All right, so let's get to know you a little bit on those icebreaker questions. Where do you live and where did you grow up, if that's different?
So I live in central Massachusetts and I actually grew up in Boston, so very close. But I've lived kind of all over the East Coast, everywhere from Maine to the Gulf of Mexico to almost outside of Miami and Florida. So I've kind of been everywhere.
Wow, that's awesome. I moved around a lot too, so I can totally relate to that. But very cool. Any snow yet this year?
We've had a few like flurries. Luckily, nothing has stuck around though. Just some cute pictures of the dog snapping at snowflakes. So I'll take that.
I feel like you said luckily, but I would love some snow, and we don't get any of that in Georgia. All right. So, if you don't mind sharing, what is a little known fact about you?
Okay, I'm so excited to share this one. So, big known fact I like to read, right? Little known fact, the Harry Potter series 1 through 7 are my favorite books in the world. And every December, I reread the whole series like it's my little Christmas tradition.
Oh, I love that. That is so cool. And yes, of course, we know you're an avid reader, and you've actually been one of the people that inspired me to pick up and make time for reading. I forgot how much I loved it. So
I
thank you for
love
that.
that. You're welcome.
All right. So let's kind of switch gears and kind of dive into some more professional questions.
Yeah.
So, what are some best practices that you use to manage your time?
So I'm a big list person. Um, I make I take some time Monday morning and I make my whole list for the week. And the other thing that I like to do is I block time for things that are important. You know, if I want to schedule a call with my mom, if I haven't talked to her for a couple weeks, I'll use my work calendar to block off that 7 to 8 o'clock and call mom. I feel like when we have the calendar, it gives us sort of some accountability to make those things happen. So if it's important to me, it's made my list and it is also blocked off on my calendar.
I love that. See, I knew we were two peas in a pod. I love list and
Lists are the
checking that box and feeling like I've accomplished something. So that's such great advice.
things.
What is something you've learned that maybe you wish you knew earlier in your career?
I love this question, and I've been kind of like tossing this around in my head because I have a million things I could think of. But I think the most impactful thing that I would say I've learned and wish I had known earlier is everyone needs a support system. You can be the most rock star employee ever to have graced the planet, but you do need a support system. So I think the earlier in your career you can find what that support system looks like for you, and whether it's friends, family, church, professional groups, whatever it is, find that. And I have a really great metaphor for how you know you found your like right support group. Have you ever been driving and it's raining and you don't mind the sound of the rain? It's like kind of comforting. But then you go under a bridge and the rain stops and you recognize the quiet. That's how you know you found your good support group, that you don't mind the hustle and bustle of your life, but you find this place where everything sort of slows down and stops and you can be yourself.
I love that. That is, gosh, Sara, that is really good advice.
Thanks.
I mean, I was kind of like visualizing that and then kind of thinking like immediately some people popped into my head when you said that.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like a diverse group of trusted advisors.
Yeah.
You so need that for sure. Even, even now, I need them
Yeah.
more than ever.
And you need people that are going to support you, but also be honest with you, because sometimes you are wrong or you've made a misstep and you need help fixing that or course correcting. And people that are just like yes men, yes women in your life aren't going to give you that honest information. So that support group is so critical for not only the positive, but the opportunities.
Yeah, you are so right. Having people that we trust that can challenge us and just,
Yeah.
give us another way to think about it, or just be like, hey, Jackie, you're just wrong. Like, no, that like this is why I think that you should look at it this way, or, whatever. Totally agree with you. Having a bunch of people around you that are going to support you and cheer you on, but then also challenge you.
Sure.
Great, great advice.
Thanks.
All right. So we got another one. What are some experiences or transformational moments in your life?
So I have two really big ones. The first one is being able to switch your mindset that when somebody gives you feedback, even if it feels critical, they're just giving you a piece of information. So if you can switch the flip and or flip the switch in your brain that this isn't criticism, this isn't negative or positive, this is just a piece of information and I can choose how I respond to that and how I can grow from that, or how I could discount it entirely. But I think it takes some of the personal feelings out of when you're hearing feedback, whether it's, a one-on-one conversation with a director or a leader, and they tell you something, maybe you didn't quite want to hear, or it's maybe not as sugar coated as you needed. If you can turn that into, this is a piece of information, as if they were saying to you, hey, this restaurant is a really good restaurant. You should check it out. It's just a piece of information. It's not um a piece of your character. It's not a criticism or a negative thing. So that's like my first transformational moment in my brain on how to take some of that feedback, which sometimes can feel hurtful and it doesn't need to.
That's
Um,
really good advice.
Thanks.
Like,
Yeah.
really, when you flip it and realize, like, okay, it's not so personal. And like you said, it's information, what you choose
Yeah.
to do with it and how you choose to process it. And knowing they're speaking from the information that they have on hand. So,
Sure.
yeah, great advice.
And I think another thing that sort of dovetails with that I wasn't expecting, but you brought it up in my brain. I think when you're in a meeting or whatever the situation or one-on-one, you have two ways you can respond to things like that, and you can categorize them as like feedback or fight back. So I think all of us sort of have a natural tendency to, when somebody gives you that piece of information, you might want to fight back and show them how it isn't true or how they're wrong. But if you can, again, flip the switch and say, this isn't a time to fight back, this is a time to receive feedback, it also helps sort of level set how it's going to go and how you can take that information and really truly accept that information.
Okay, feedback or fight back is going in your abstract for this. That's great. I love it.
And then I think the biggest thing, about 6.5 years ago, my dad passed away. He died of cancer.
Mhm.
And it was really hard, right? Of
I'm
course.
sorry,
And
Sarah. Yeah.
oh no, no. And I'm certainly not the youngest person on earth to lose a parent, right? But it was a weird stage in my life, my like late 30s, and you still need your parents, and I
Hmm.
still had to go to work and I still had to take care of my children. And so I think his death taught me that you never know what's going on inside somebody else's world, and that, that person could be having the worst day ever and they're coming to work and they're trying to smile and they're doing their best, and just always giving that grace to people that might be challenging to interact with, because you just don't know what they're going through. We're all fighting our own personal, professional, health, whatever, family battles. and being able to give the grace that we would have needed in a time of, challenge, I think is one of the most transformational pieces that I've dealt with, that helps me be a better person overall and to deal with other people.
You are so right. And what an amazing reminder. And thank you for sharing a little bit of your personal background and how that impacted you and came to this great advice today to share with all of us. Sara, thank you so much for all you do for the community. We are so grateful for you, and just sharing some insights that you've learned with us today and allowing us to celebrate you as our Woman of the Week.
Oh, I appreciate you so much, and it's great to spend time with you one-on-one, and I appreciate everything you do for the channel, and I love the whole channel team and the whole Women of the Channel team. It's just an awesome environment, and I'm so grateful to be a part of it.
Well, there you have it, community members. Please feel free to dive in there and continue the conversation, share your feedback, and celebrate Sara as our Woman of the Week. Until next time, happy Wednesday.